What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So today I'm going to show you how to wrap the front bumper on this Kia Stinger. Now this front bumper to remove, very easy actually. It probably took me like 5 minutes. No, seriously, 5 minutes. It's just a couple of clips across the top, screw up in here, but I'll do a video on this. Okay, now we can actually take the bumper off. When we're taking this bumper off, we're going to be very careful. We're going to press ourselves against it. I'm pretty confident that I'll get full coverage when I wrap this front bumper using the masking tape technique to help make sure that I can tuck in a little bit further. So what you're going to want to do, anything that you're leaving on is going to be masked off like this. So if you're leaving on grills, fog light bezels, that sort of thing, you're going to mask off the chrome trim or the trim around it just to make sure that your blade A doesn't hit it and slip and hit it, scratch it, and B so that the film can slide off and go into the gap area basically a little bit easier. It's going to be easier that way. Now this bumper doesn't even require any inlay setup as far as what I was seeing when I looked at it. I don't need any inlays for this front bumper. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you all the way through beginning to end how to do this. Now this is rare that it doesn't need an inlay simply because we don't have any crazy recessed areas. The deepest recess is right up here in the fog light area and down here in that fog light area there. But we do have a really nice hole right there, so we can actually cut a bunch of material out, which will give us some relief and less tension in that area when we go to stretch in. On top of that, we'll do some post heating and things like that, and that'll be it. Now this bumper is fairly tall. It's about 30 inches tall, it's close to it. So we're using a little bit more film on the front bumper than we are on the rear. The rear is gonna be about 27 inches. And what I do is I measure the length of the rear. I cut this piece at 32, 33 inches and the back piece at 27, 28 inches. Straight across the roll. So this way I have two bumpers out of one cut. We save ourselves a bit of material that way. Otherwise we're gonna eat back into the roll a few meters or a few yards. So what you'll notice here is I've removed the headlights as well. This helps so that we can actually wrap around properly into the headlight area because the headlights are translucent. Sometimes we can see the color of the car's paint through the headlight area. So I like to get around a little bit further. On top of that, when we pull and stretch across, the film will want to actually curl into this area, making it naturally want to go in that area. Same thing will happen around the bottom. I could have removed this plastic piece here too. It's very easy to remove, but I didn't bother because we don't really need to. It's very straightforward and the film will not stick to it because this is textured plastic down here. What else can I say about this? Pretty much it. So removing the headlights does help. Removing parts of it does help. Got the fog light bezels out, that was very easy. Otherwise, the rest of the stuff's not even worth taking off. Way too much time, probably gonna spend 2 hours doing that. So let's get to the prep. What we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe down this surface with isopropyl alcohol, and then we're gonna go through the entire thing, every single edge, every single gap, with the microfiber cloth wrapped around your squeegee. Just like that. And then you want to just get in there. You don't want to push too aggressively, but you want to get in there and you want to clean that out, making sure that we don't have any residue or anything, oils, grease, dirt sitting in there. So make sure you use your cloth and your squeegee to go around it really nicely. Same thing in here, all through there. Otherwise, that's basically it. You can see that I have the bumper just clipped back onto the car because it's a lot easier to actually wrap the bumper while it's clipped onto the car. If it's sitting on a table or a bumper stand or anything like that, it's gonna be moving around like crazy because we need to pull on this film. So this is the hardest part, is actually pulling on the film and getting it to stretch across the bumper. So we're gonna need heat for that for the most part. You can't do it without any heats, usually depending on the ambient room temperature. Now this car is fairly new, but there are some imperfections in it, so it's not miraculously perfect. Even from the factory, I can see there's some imperfections in the clear coat itself. Very minor stuff, but it will show through the wrap, of course. Is it worth it to do paint correction, or can you do paint correction properly to get rid of some of the debris that's in the paint already naturally from the factory? If you can do it without damaging the paint, cool. If not, leave it as it is. It is what it is, kind of thing. No car in the world is perfect, nor will your wrappy. You know, shoot for high expectations or a high goal, but you know, there's no such thing as perfection. If you try to waste your time getting it to be perfect, you're just going to end up doing such, just wasting your time. There's no such thing. You can wrap this bumper 25 times and you'll still never get it perfect. There'll be some really minor stuff here and there. As far as minor stuff goes, I mean, like I said, it is what it is. You might get one speck of dirt or something behind it. You might not even know. You might even know it. You might even not know it. Simply because there are imperfections in the paint itself, like stone chips, debris in the paint, that sort of thing. So maybe you got a little stone in there or a little piece of dirt or something that you just don't even know if it's dirt or an imperfection in the paint. You leave it as it is because it's not worth rewrapping a bumper for. I can see that paint chips right down here, a couple of them, and same with the other side, I saw it too. So what we're also gonna do here is, now that I've prepped and wiped everything down, I like to blow away all the contaminants using compressed air. So I have a hose right here. We're gonna take it, and I like to blow out the grill area, very important since we didn't remove this area. It's gonna help a lot. This prevents any loose particles from coming out when we remove the release liner. Spray across the top. I usually start from the top and work my way down. Get those headlight areas, get the fog light areas, get it all out of there. Just something like that, nothing crazy. Now that we've done it, we can wrap this bumper right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my film, I'm gonna grab a couple of magnets, stick it to one side, and then I'll grab a couple of other magnets and stick it to the other side. And then we're just gonna get it positioned right now. What I also need to do is just clip this section back in here. I left it unclipped, simply so I can wipe it. There. Let's get this into position. This might take 2 tries here, depending on how good I can get this right off the bat. Just a little tweak here and there on the sides once we get there. It does help to lift the vehicle up. As you notice, mine is elevated. The car's not sitting flat on the ground. Cool. So I've got plenty of film on the top. I can see there. I'm gonna make sure we're good on the bottom. That's important. I've got to come down on this side. I can see that we're actually showing some white. Saw it somewhere around here. It's pretty close. I'm gonna come down a little bit there. And try to keep the film looking flat right across this area here. Yes, it's gonna crease. It's very symmetrical right now. As you notice, there's a crease there and a crease there. Very symmetrical. Symmetry is very important. So this is a good starting point. This shows me that my film should be pretty equal on both sides as far as how straight it is. I don't even have to look at it from the front, but I can look at it from the front and be like, all right, this looks straight. It looks good to me. Let's actually move that crease back over to here. So it looks straight, it looks very straight to me, okay? Could I come down a little bit more? Maybe. So let's just check it out at the top here. Again, check it out at the top here. No, I think we're good. So it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but it looks good enough. So now I have, because this was cut from the rear bumper, I have this extra length on this side. I'm gonna cut a bunch of it off. I don't need it all. Let's get rid of that. So we'll toss that in the car. And because I'm right-handed, I'm gonna start removing the film from this side over here. Now this is Avery, it's a little bit more pliable naturally, so it's a little bit difficult to do this on your own sometimes, simply because the film is so pliable. But we're gonna take it and roll that release liner as far out as we can. Now, I've done this many times, so you might struggle a little bit more than I do when it comes to doing that right off the bat, but generally that's how you do it. I know that some people can struggle with that bit. So I'm gonna try and keep everything flat here, just like so. Cool. Watch your wrists on the top and bottom because you can get a paper cut. It'll give you a really good one too, because this release liner is like cardboard, so it will cut you very easily. So I'm trying to keep everything flat still. To keep myself out just like so. And we're good. So I can, if I want to, pull the film tight and then just get it sort of wrapped around. Let's get some positioning going on here. Let's get some perspective and see what this looks like. Okay, so it's pulling across tight there. I'm gonna pull tight across from this side now. I haven't added any heat yet. The initial pull across the face, we may not need to even add any heat, just because the curve is very gradual. But we do need to stretch some. Okay. Almost done. I'm gonna move the camera over here. I'll remove my glove, and we're gonna I'm gonna basically cut off a whole bunch of this material. I've got way too much. I'm gonna take this film and still lead it more towards the wheel. But right here, I'm gonna pull down more towards the corner here. So what I'm gonna do is anchor this right here through the middle. I don't want it to snap back, that's why I'm doing that. I'm gonna lift up all these wrinkles right here because I don't want them like that. These are not good wrinkles. We're just gonna pull them the other way. Smooth out the line on the body. So an up close view of how we're gonna do this side of the bumper, heating and stretching around, not so far away this time. Should give you a different perspective on how we're doing things. So again, we don't wanna have wrinkles like that when we're starting out with, but that's okay. We can pull it back to this point and then heat and stretch across. Should be okay. So let's remove the film. It's been sitting there for a little while now. Pull that back a bit. I'm just gonna see if I can flatten it out a little bit more. No, can't seem to get this one wrinkle out right here, which is okay. So I'm just gonna bring the film back a bit and use my hand to get rid of it. And that's it, guys. That is the bumper wrapped. It's a fun one. Kirsten's back there working on the trunk. So all one piece. I'll remove all the masking tape. The blue and the purple actually look really good together. I'll remove all the masking tape and that'll be it. Get it assembled and slapped back on. I hope this video was informative and helpful. I'm looking forward to doing some more videos for you guys. Remember, basically wrapping the bumper itself, putting the vinyl around it, is more of the easy part. Doing the rest of the stuff, the trimming, the cutting, the corners, the edges, the masking, the prep, all that stuff takes a lot more time than actually just putting the film around the bumper. But if you can't get the film around the bumper with the right technique, then you just kind of won't be able to get onto the rest of the stuff. So anyways, I appreciate you watching. Thanks again. Take care.